What is the true test of a man's strength? It is not the weight he lifts, nor the battles he wins, but his ability to resist the forces that seek to break him. There are 6 silent enemies in this world, forces so insidious that they corrupt the mind, weaken the will, and steal the soul's fire. They do not announce themselves with a roar, but whisper in moments of doubt, in comfort, in distraction. Most men fall, unaware they were even in a fight. But the man who seeks mastery, the one who refuses to kneel before weakness, knows these forces must be recognized and rejected, because to surrender to them is to live as a slave, not as a free man. What are these 6 things? And more importantly, how can you avoid them before they take hold? The answer is simple, but not easy. Stay with me, and by the end of this, you'll see the world and yourself with sharper eyes. 1. The trap of emotional reaction. What separates the strong from the weak? It is not wealth, not power, not talent. It is control. A weak man reacts, a strong man decides. Most men are prisoners of their emotions. They are ruled by anger, fear, and the desperate need for validation. One insult can send them into a blind rage. One moment of discomfort can make them abandon their path. One failure can break them beyond repair. They are not men. They are leaves in the wind, tossed about by forces they do not control. But the man who seeks mastery, he is different. He does not flinch at the sting of words. He does not break when faced with hardship. He does not let the chaos of the world shake the fortress within. His mind is his own, his emotions his servants, not his masters. Marcus Aurelius understood this power. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength is not found in rage. It is not found in lashing out. It is found in the space between impulse and action. The moment you allow anger to dictate your response, you have already lost. The moment you let fear make your choices, you have surrendered. The moment you allow another's opinion to determine your path, you have become their puppet. Picture a man who lives as a slave to his emotions. He is always on edge, always offended, always ready to strike back. He cannot focus, cannot build, cannot grow, because his energy is spent reacting instead of creating. He is a man of impulse, not of discipline, and because of this, he is weak. Now picture the opposite, a man who stands unmoved in the face of insult, who does not let the world dictate his inner state. He listens, but he is not controlled. He feels, but he is not ruled. He chooses when to act, how to act, and whether to act at all. He is not without emotion, but he's never enslaved by it. This man is dangerous, not because he's violent, but because he cannot be manipulated. A storm does not shake a mountain, and neither does the noise of the world shake a man who has mastered himself. To be unshaken is not to be indifferent. It is to be disciplined. It is to recognize the wave of emotion rising within you, to see it, to understand it, and then to choose your response, not from weakness, but from wisdom. This is the difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is immediate, blind, and uncontrolled. Response is measured, deliberate, and powerful. One is the mark of a slave, the other the mark of a master. So the next time anger rises within you, the next time fear whispers in your ear, the next time someone tries to shake your peace, pause, observe, decide. Because in that silence between impulse and action lies the difference between a man who is ruled and a man who rules himself. 2. The poison of comfort. Comfort is seductive. It whispers promises of ease, of rest, of peace. It tells you that you deserve a break, that struggle is unnecessary, that hardship is for fools. And so, most men chase it. They seek warmth instead of challenge, ease instead of effort, security instead of strength. And in doing so, they become soft, weak, untested. But no great man was ever forged in comfort. Strength is built in struggle. Discipline is refined in hardship. The mind is sharpened by resistance. Seneca warned us of this weakness. We must undergo a hard winter training and not rush into things for which we haven't prepared. Ease is a slow poison. It dulls the edge of a man's will, steals his hunger, and robs him of his fire. A man who avoids discomfort today will break under pressure tomorrow. The body that is never pushed grows frail. The mind that is never tested becomes fragile. The spirit that is never challenged withers away. History remembers the strong, the disciplined, the relentless. It does not remember the comfortable. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire on earth, yet he slept on a hard bed, trained in the cold, and embraced discomfort. He knew that luxury breeds weakness, that softness is a disease of the soul. The greatest warriors, the greatest thinkers, the greatest builders of civilization, they all knew this truth. Comfort is not your friend. It is your enemy in disguise. Look at the world around you. Men grow weaker by the day, addicted to ease, afraid of hardship, unwilling to suffer. They shrink from adversity, not realizing that it is adversity that makes them strong. They avoid struggle, not realizing that struggle is what sharpens the mind, hardens the body, and strengthens the will. They live as if comfort will protect them, but in truth, it only leaves them defenseless. The man who seeks an easy life will find himself unprepared when difficulty comes. And difficulty will come. No man escapes the trials of life. The question is, will you be ready? A tested life is the only life worth living, one that forces you to sharpen your will, to embrace hardship, to walk through fire and emerge stronger, to lift heavier, to endure longer, to push past limits, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Because on the other side of struggle lies strength. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but it is the slow death of all who desire greatness. Do not seek ease, seek challenge. Do not run from difficulty, chase it. Because the man who welcomes discomfort today will stand unshaken when the storm comes tomorrow. 3. The illusion of tomorrow. Most men live as if time is infinite. They convince themselves that they have years, decades, a lifetime to become the man they were meant to be. They say, "I'll start tomorrow. Next week, I'll change. When I feel ready, I'll be disciplined." But tomorrow is a lie. It is an excuse, a whisper of weakness, a soft lullaby that convinces men they still have time to waste. It is the most dangerous illusion of all. Marcus Aurelius shattered this illusion with a single truth. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Yet men refuse to see it. They live as if they are immortal, as if they can postpone effort, delay discipline, and push greatness into some distant future. But time is ruthless. It does not wait, it does not bargain, and it does not grant second chances. The man who believes in tomorrow is a man who will die unfulfilled. He postpones his strength, his discipline, his purpose, until one day he has no days left. He plans for a future that will never come. He dreams of a life he will never live. He tells himself he will begin someday, not realizing that someday is the greatest lie ever told. Look around. The world is filled with men who are trapped in the waiting game. They wait for inspiration. They wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect moment when conditions are right, when they feel like it, when the universe gives them a sign. But that moment never comes, because life does not wait. Life does not give warnings. It moves forward, with or without you. The warrior does not wait until the battle has begun to sharpen his blade. The builder does not wait until the storm arrives to lay his foundation. A man does not wait to be strong. He becomes strong before weakness has a chance to take hold. If you wish to be disciplined, do not wait for the right mood. Train yourself now. If you wish to build a better life, do not wait for better circumstances. Start where you stand. If you wish to become something greater, do not wait for permission. Act now. Action is the cure. Relentless, disciplined, imperfect action. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It will never come. Stop waiting for motivation. It is fleeting. Stop waiting for tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. The question is simple. If not now, when? There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And the man who understands this, the man who seizes the day with both hands, who acts with urgency, who refuses to delay his own greatness, is the man who will rise above all others. Do not believe in tomorrow. Believe in the power of now. Because time does not wait, and neither should you. 4. The need for approval. A man who seeks the approval of others is a man who has already lost himself. He molds his thoughts to fit their expectations, silences his voice to avoid their judgment, and walks a path not of his choosing, but of theirs. And in doing so, he becomes a prisoner, not bound by chains, but by opinion. Seneca warned us, "He who seeks approval from others has already condemned himself." Yet most men fall into this trap. They shape their words, their ambitions, even their identities in pursuit of validation. They fear rejection, so they conform. They fear criticism, so they remain silent. They fear standing alone, so they follow the crowd, even when the crowd walks toward mediocrity. But the truth is harsh and undeniable. No matter what you do, no matter how you live, there will always be those who disapprove, always those who criticize, always those who mock. Some will envy your strength. Others will resent your discipline. Many will hate you simply because you remind them of what they failed to become. And so, the need for approval becomes a trap, one that keeps men weak, hesitant, and afraid. So why chase it? Why give control of your life to those who do not walk your path, do not carry your burdens, and do not share your vision? Look at history. Every great man, every philosopher, warrior, and leader was met with resistance. Socrates was condemned for his ideas. Marcus Aurelius was questioned for his wisdom. Seneca was accused by those who feared his mind. Yet they did not waver. They did not seek validation. They did not ask for permission. They stood firm, knowing that greatness is never understood by the masses. The Stoics knew that true freedom comes not from the acceptance of others, but from self-mastery. The moment you stop needing approval, you become untouchable. The moment you stop seeking permission, you become unstoppable. But this is not easy. The need for approval is deeply ingrained. We are social creatures, wired to belong. But belonging is not the same as surrender. A man must ask himself, do I live for their applause, or do I live for my purpose? Do I seek their validation, or do I seek my own truth? There is a simple test. Imagine making a decision with no one to judge you, no one to praise you, no one to criticize you. Would you still make the same choice? If the answer is yes, then that choice is truly yours. If not, then you were never living for yourself to begin with. The strong man does not chase approval. He builds himself so that approval is irrelevant. He does not bend to the opinions of the weak. He stands firm, even when standing alone. He does not live for applause. He lives for purpose. We do not seek validation. We do not ask for permission. We act, we decide, we move forward, unshaken by praise, unaffected by criticism, because the only approval that matters is the one we give ourselves. 5. The weight of useless thoughts. A man's mind is his greatest weapon or his greatest weakness. It can forge his destiny or be the very thing that destroys him. The difference is in how he wields it. Most men do not control their thoughts. They let their minds run wild, like an untrained beast, draining their energy with worries, regrets, and meaningless distractions. They dwell on past mistakes, reliving failures that can no longer be changed. They fear the future, suffering over things that may never happen. They overthink the smallest details, turning simple choices into endless battles within their own heads. Epictetus warned us, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." A weak mind is like an unguarded city, open to invasion, vulnerable to every fear, doubt, and impulse. But a disciplined mind is like a fortress, impenetrable, sharp, and focused. The difference is training. A warrior does not carry unnecessary weight into battle, and a wise man does not burden his mind with useless thoughts. We must learn to cut away mental distractions as a swordsman sharpens his blade. No dwelling on the past. It is done. No fearing the future. It is unknown. No overthinking what cannot be controlled. It is a waste of life. Every moment spent lost in useless thoughts is a moment stolen from action, from clarity, from strength. Yet many men live trapped in their own heads. They hesitate, overanalyze, and second-guess every decision. They let doubt creep in, poisoning their resolve. They waste days, months, even years thinking instead of doing. But thinking without discipline is not wisdom, it is paralysis. A Stoic does not allow his mind to be ruled by chaos. He trains his thoughts the way a warrior trains his body. He focuses only on what is real, what is within his power, what must be done. His mind is a tool, not a tormentor. He does not let the past haunt him, nor the future control him. He exists fully in the present, sharp and ready. Imagine standing before two doors. One leads to action, discipline, and mastery. The other leads to hesitation, doubt, and wasted potential. The only difference between the man who steps forward and the man who hesitates is the ability to control his thoughts. One understands that useless thinking is a weight to be dropped, while the other clings to it, unaware that it is what holds him back. There is a simple truth. A man who controls his mind controls everything. He is not easily shaken. He is not consumed by doubt. He does not waste energy on what does not serve him. He moves with purpose, thinks with clarity, and acts with discipline. So the next time your mind is flooded with useless thoughts, remember this. Observe them, but do not let them rule you. Cut them away like dead weight. Focus only on what is. Because the mind, when mastered, is the strongest force in the world. 6. The company of the weak-minded. A man becomes what he surrounds himself with. If you walk among the undisciplined, the lazy, the aimless, you will become one of them. Weak men seek comfort in numbers. They gather in circles where mediocrity is celebrated, where excuses are reinforced, where ambition is mocked. not because they are right, but because they are afraid. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, warned, "Better to be alone than in bad company." Yet most men fear solitude. They cling to companionship that offers no challenge, no growth, no demand for something greater. They sit in rooms where nothing is expected of them, where failure is forgiven before effort is even made. It feels safe, it feels easy, but it is poison, a slow, quiet death of potential. Look at a man's circle and you will see his future. The lazy man surrounds himself with those who accept laziness. The undisciplined seek those who justify their lack of control. The weak gather among the weak, never realizing that the comfort they find in each other is the very thing that keeps them small. But the man who seeks mastery, the man who refuses to kneel before weakness, he chooses differently. He does not tolerate company that drags him down. He does not indulge those who feed his lesser self. He seeks those who challenge him, those who sharpen his mind, those who demand more from him than he demands from himself. Because he understands a simple truth. A man who walks with the strong has no choice but to become stronger. Think of a fire. A single ember, left alone, fades and dies. But surrounded by other flames, it grows into something unstoppable. The same is true for a man. If you surround yourself with weak minds, your fire will dim. But if you stand among the disciplined, the relentless, the unbreakable, you will rise. This is not arrogance. This is survival. Every conversation either builds you or weakens you. Every friend either sharpens your edge or dulls it. The people around you either pull you forward or hold you back. And the harsh truth is this: if they are not making you better, they are making you worse. So choose your company like you choose your weapons, with precision, with purpose, with care. Walk with those who hold you to a higher standard. Seek those who do not let you make excuses. Surround yourself with those whose very presence demands that you rise. Because the man who stands among the strong will never stay weak. And if the choice comes down to walking alone or walking with the weak, walk alone. The road may be harder, but at least it leads somewhere worth going. Because a man who stands still is a man who is already falling behind. Strength is not given, it is earned. And the first step is to break free from the illusions that keep men weak. If you are ready to rise above comfort, above fear, above the need for approval, take action. Discipline is built through motion, and the path to mastery begins now. Like this video if it challenged you. Comment with the one truth that hit you the hardest, and subscribe if you refuse to kneel before weakness. This is not just about watching, it's about becoming. Each lesson is a weapon, each insight a tool. Sharpen your mind, harden your spirit, and walk the path of true strength. The next step? That comes in the next video. Be ready.